Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode, what is this, 6, I think, of the podcast? And whatever the fuck it is. I am joined today by Miss Naomi Harris. Miss Naomi Harris here is a social activist, a quite the intelligent young lady, and is also the lover of Miss Madam Mariah from a couple podcasts. From our
I
second
can't
podcast.
believe you used the word lover. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself. Continue.
I'm nothing if not corny. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Naomi Harris.
Hi, nice to talk to you guys. Well, I'm talking. I should just stop. Continue. I'm really awkward.
Have you heard you've heard my podcast? Like, I'm nothing if not the epitome of awkwardness. But I digress. So, for one thing, I brought you on today to talk about, in general, the problems with dating in general, and more importantly, the way that the lack of instruction we get growing up on how to talk to people we like in a way other than friends. You know, because for at least from the male perspective, nobody, like, all the advice we get from other men is usually the type of advice that those men are using to stroke their ego. And it's usually not advice that works. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's also and there's really not a lot of, I mean, when I talk to women, I'm very old school in terms of like chivalry and stuff like that. But that old school type of being respectful and gentlemanly also is kind of sexist in a way, because it implies that the woman is weaker, you know, is like not as, you know, it's like a talking down kind of. So it's like there's like, and we don't realize until if men realize at all until much later in our lives, that if we just talk to you like a human being and be frank, there's no problems, you know. And there's the issue of if a girl says no, it means no, you know, and move the fuck on, you know. So
that's one of the most things that I think I've heard of, like, problems with, where guys not respecting the fact that when a girl's not interested, she's not interested.
Right.
And
the one thing that I think both men's rights lunatics and more hardcore feminists on both sides fail to realize is the inability of both men to understand what no means and women to communicate, get the fuck away from me effectively, are both not the problem of those individuals. It is the problem of a society that has a very big issue with talking about intimacy and talking about sex and talking about just relationships in general in a way that's not cringy or weird.
I think that parents also want to put it to health classes, like, oh, well, they'll teach our kids and stuff like that.
But those health classes sometimes are just don't have sex, and that's it.
And they're not even talking about, like, personally getting to know someone in a more intimate aspect, rather than just friends, and no one really teaches us about that. And I think things are very different now also because of social media and, you know, texting and phones and stuff like that, where, you know, our parents weren't really, like, that wasn't something that they did. So it's something totally new, that we can't really be taught how to act. Or, you know, you'd expect certain people, like, knowing how to act, but, you know, they do not.
Well, look at our grandparents. Like, some of our grandparents don't even know how to act, and they're 3 times our age.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's complicated sometimes
Well,
because
if I want to give our listeners a kind of, I want to explore this topic from your perspective, because I could talk all damn day about how young men need to learn how to communicate effectively in a way that isn't just waving your dick around. Your proverbial dick around. It's and that's just that. And now let's concede that there is a certain population of women that do like that aggressive type of courtship, but that number has at every generation that number seems to get smaller.
yeah, I don't know, like, personally any women who are like, oh, I like, real aggressive guys who kind of are more pushy and
Well,
like
birds of a
aren't really
feather
respectful.
flock together. I mean, you and I certainly have our disagreements, but at least from a political, from a societal, from our interests, we have a lot in common. It's just our
It's funny because
personalities.
yeah, they don't really.
Well, our personalities are. I think both yours and my personalities are very similar, and that's part of the reason why we're like oil and water.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Right. And yeah, so I just wanted I just wanted to let's to start so despite that little bit of a intro, I wanted to start by asking you this first question. So at what is your the most when at what time in your life, like, what were the signs early? At what point in your life did you start seeing a couple signs, and maybe give some examples of things of both men and women treating you differently than when you were, say, 8 or 9 years old? Like at what point did you notice that, like, sexual harassment, like the sexual, which that's just what it, which in a lot of cases that's what's the current norm for courtship is, started to occur?
So, the first thing that comes to mind is when I was talking to this one guy. Like, I don't, okay, so my memory is kind of, it's not the best, but I do remember that we were texting a lot. I think it was like a long distance kind of thing. Like, we were friends and stuff, and I wasn't really like interested in him like that. And literally, and I'm being completely honest, like, totally random, he sent me a dick pic out of nowhere. And I was
I want to state for the record that as a computer programmer, I never in my life have I ever once sent a dick pic. Not once,
I'd hope
because
not.
because it doesn't matter whether or not it's not. They say, "Oh, don't take them and put them into the," like, don't take them at all, because once they are ones and zeros, there is a digital record of them somewhere. Whether it's on Apple servers, whether it's on yours, whether it's on your computer, it's like it is somewhere. Don't put anything. Don't turn anything into ones and zeros you don't want, like, other people to see. Period. As you were saying, I apologize. So he sent you a dick pic.
Yeah, and that was actually, I feel like it was before high school, but I don't remember. If it was during high school, it was like in the beginning, but it's like it's really hard for me to remember sometimes, like, time periods and like what happened when, but I know I was younger. And I was
Well,
like,
it's probably, let's just say, middle school.
I was very upset about that and horrified. And yeah, that was not a good experience.
Yeah, and
And
then so he sends you so this guy sends you a dick pic, and you're basically done with it. And at this point, let's say and there's no more incidents between that and high school.
yeah, I don't think there was anything
So let's just, for
else.
simplicity's sake, let's call it 7th grade. Let's say a year goes by, no meaningful issues happen. Then you walk into, so then it's your first marking period at Conrad. what happens?
You know what? Okay. So surprisingly, I feel like there are not a lot of incidents that really happened in like my memory, like near the like beginning of high school. Although again, I'm a very like oblivious person. So
And certain actions which I pointed out before we started recording, certain actions could be considered kind of a level of harassment, you know?
yeah. But basically, so I'm really oblivious. So if someone's like interested in me or like, I won't notice unless they are completely blatant. So like the incidents I'm talking about will be more kind of extreme because of the fact that I probably haven't, realized like the little things that happen. Because Mariah, like when we're out some places and stuff, like she'll notice things that I won't notice. Like this happened recently where I was at the mall, like we were at the mall together, and I was like trying to get Wi-Fi or something, right? And so there were two guys behind us, and apparently they were talking about my ass, and I didn't even notice. Like I didn't hear anything, but of course she heard because she's always like listening to different things and stuff like that. So, but that happened. I would have never known if she didn't tell me. So it's like stuff like that where like also just don't do that because that's not cool. Like that's just
Well, you also got, that's indefensible. It may be. I'm a guy. I've talked about women's bodies and stuff in the past, but there's a kind of a like you're not supposed to say it when like you're not supposed to say it when the person's within earshot or around people who will get it back to them. You know, it's I'm sure it's talking about somebody's like how like their physical attributes is normal. You know,
and it's like in a way like I understand where I can appreciate it, but also like myself personally, like I don't feel comfortable talking about that kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but like me personally,
you're fine talking about other people's physical attributes as long as you're fine talking about physical attributes as long as like yours aren't being sexualized.
Well, not just that, but like anyone's kind of like being sexualized. Like I can appreciate if someone has like a nice body, but I don't feel comfortable like talking about it kind of like blatantly like sexual, But like, oh, like she looks pretty or stuff like that, but
I mean, one of the problems I think you have is like your body is gorgeous. That's
okay. I don't feel.
Okay, well let me say this. Was anything was what I said sexual in nature?
It wasn't. Although personally I do feel like
if it was somebody else besides yours truly saying that in a matter of fact way, in a non-sexual context, in a way that wasn't like that without any innuendo and just saying it like it's the reality of the matter, would that it's yeah
be uncomfortable?
Would it make you as uncomfortable as it is when I say it?
I think okay, but that's like a personal, not like me thing. Like it still makes me uncomfortable, unless it's like, of course, like Mariah. But yeah,
Mariah is like a very special person to you. She's let's be real, she's seen more than anybody else has.
Okay, let's.
I'm fucking with you. But back on topic.
Yeah, so that's just like a me thing where like if people compliment me something, like I react kind of weird because I'm just not really, I don't know if I'll ever be like really comfortable with people like giving me compliments, but that's more of like a me self-esteem kind of thing rather than like, oh, that's inappropriate kind of thing. So I think there's a kind of a difference between that and between like how I personally react to compliments and stuff, and between like if someone was like saying very like sexual things to me, like I'd be totally uncomfortable with that in a different way, like okay, that's not cool, versus
anybody would be.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean like if women I've had women comment and stuff and I hear them earshot, and I like it. It makes me feel I get a kind of a self-esteem boost, but I also feel it also a little part of me does feel like a little off-put by it as well. You know?
Yeah. And what bothers me though is I remember a conversation me and like friends from high school had, and it bothered me because all the guys were like, oh well, like, because we were talking about catcalling and how I wasn't, okay with catcalling, like, oh, it's just a compliment, why can't you accept a compliment, which, like, oh my god, there's so many things
There's
that
there's a difference between saying I just wanted to say nice day, and then saying to a complete stranger, hey, nice tits.
Yeah.
There's a different, like, me saying me saying, like, and just to point out my own flaws, me saying you look gorgeous is different from me saying your body looks gorgeous.
Yeah, that's definitely, there is definitely a difference between that.
Yep.
Because, like, one you seem more like, okay, like your facial features and stuff like that, and other one they're just like looking at just generally physical attributes and stuff like that. So, and also, so I actually went to class because I got a new job, and I went to classes for that, and one was specifically like workplace etiquette and things like that, and how you say things, and trying to pay attention to, how you're coming across to this other person. Like, one thing is like, okay, you look nice today, looking them in the eye and stuff like that. And the other one, like, oh, looking them up and down, like the teacher said, there's no reason to like be looking someone up and down like that. And he was
Looking
a man.
at like a piece of meat.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, he made a very good point about, like, it's totally different. So I feel like people need to pay more attention about how, they might come across to other people and how they might make other people feel, because compliments are supposed to make someone feel good, right? And if you're making someone feel uncomfortable and you don't care, or you're not like paying attention to that, then it's obvious like the compliment is more for you than it is for that other person to make them feel good. So, like, that's my kind of opinion on that. And like catcalling and stuff like that. Like, if you really want to compliment someone, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And
Right.
compliments are like, it's all on your intentions and what you're trying to mean by that.
Right. And I will admit this. Like, and not admit this. I want to state this for our listeners. You got to remember, the fault of these inabilities to give compliments is not the fault of you. It is not the fault of you, the individual. It is the fault of a system in a society that has basically made you incapable of having meaningful discussion without being overtly sexual or creepy. Everything Naomi here is saying, she is not blaming you. She is not pointing the finger at anybody, and if you're listening and you're upset by what she's saying, it's not your fault. You can change your behavior, but because it does make people off-putting, but it is not your fault that you've made those decisions. It is a society that has made you think that is the way you go about doing it.
I think it's also kind of like what we let certain people kind of get away with as like kids and stuff. Like, certain actions I feel like are kind of,
bullying a girl because you like her, I've never understood, because I don't remember doing that when I was a boy.
That's the thing, is that when I was younger, I was bullied in middle school, right?
We all were.
So my dad was all kind of like, oh, well, he probably just likes you. He probably thinks, you're pretty or whatever. And I think that it's kind of, the parents' fault, where it's like they're letting this action go, on the basis of, okay, this boy is interested in the girl, but whether he's interested or not, that doesn't make the behavior okay. And I think it's the parents' fault for just kind of ignoring this action, or not, not trying to change the behavior is why
It all comes down to parenting. Parents don't want to have a conversation with their sons or their daughters about how you talk to somebody you like. And in fact, they they don't like. I think it would be very interesting to. I would be more interested to see more women approaching men for interest, because I mean, we would, like, honestly, we would date a stagnant, like, stagnant puddle water if it said something nice about us.
Oh
You know,
my
like,
God.
we're so like, when people compliment me, like, literally they just compliment me without, like, any repercussions, and it's not like a friend or whatever. It's just like a random. Like, I feel the level of elation and happiness I get from that one act is, like, if a girl asks me, even if I don't have any interest in her, like, the act of that just makes me feel just so much better as a human being.
That's like another kind of thing where I feel like it's also kind of with society, showing us like how to act, which is another thing on females, where in the movies and all like the teen stuff, it's always the guy asking the girl waiting. It's like, oh, I can't ask him out. But I think that if we were kind of raised to be, as I don't know the right word for
Assertive.
it. Yes, thank you. Assertive as men, then that would be something that would be happening more, complimenting, the guys, asking the guys out. And I always like didn't really agree with like, oh, you can't ask a guy out. Because like, I did that in, middle school. Thankfully he said yes, or else it'd be like really awful if he said no. But like, that'd be
Well,
weird.
it's one of those things where it's just certain guys have a lot of interest thrown to them by women. But there are also a lot of guys who aren't, where if you wanted to be with somebody who was interesting and cool in a relationship, like, look for, like, I feel like there's many men out there who just don't, like, who just don't have the confidence to go up and talk to a female, I mean, I mean, let's be frank. Like, when I heard that the incel community was a thing.
Oh my God, I have so many things to say about that, but continue.
I was like I empathized with them, because I was like that for a long, long time. I didn't really have intimacy with females. I didn't really have any of that. But what ended up happening is, you know what I did?
What?
I put on nice clothes. I showered. I got a haircut. I took an oral communications class, and I learned how to talk without being weird. And I still ain't great at it, mind you. I ain't perfect, but I'm a hell of a lot better than where I used to be.
And I can say that too.
It requires a level of work. I at the end. I mean, they're saying that, like, the government should supply prostitutes to them for, like, I'm like, okay. So first of all, I think prostitution should be legal for a myriad of reasons.
I agree with that too.
Not one of those reasons is that.
Are we gonna go on to that topic? 'Cause I have some stuff to say about that.
Let's put a pin in that for a second. I'll bring us back to it later. I wanted to get on to, because we're on a whole nother tangent. I wanted to get back. So, what was the next extreme case of, like?
Wow, we're going way back. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I remember this one thing that happened, which it literally made me so angry, because this was like a guy that I had known for like probably since we were in 9th grade together, and I think this happened when either I think it was my junior year of high school, junior or senior year of high school. And so we were just talking on Instagram and stuff like that, right? And then suddenly out of nowhere, like I don't know why this always happens out of nowhere too, because but he basically said that I wanted to have sex with him.
He said that you wanted to have sex with him.
Yes.
He didn't ask if you wanted to have sex with him. He said he just claimed that you did.
Yes. Although there was okay. So again, memory's kind of messed up. So there's other things that were said.
Probably you probably said some stuff that came off as a little flirtatious.
I didn't. I remember the thing that happened before all this went down, where I literally just rickrolled him.
By the way, quick question: was this at later in the evening?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Or were you talking in the morning during school or whatever?
No, this was. I'm trying to remember.
It was on Insta, right?
Yeah, it was. I don't remember when it happened.
I would wager that the time period it probably happened around 7-8 o'clock at night.
I have no clue, but I know the thing that happened before all this went down is I literally just rickrolled him. So I don't know how that comes off as sexual. I don't know if he's into Rick Astley or something.
I don't know. But at the end, I will say this though. He was probably texting you horny.
Oh my god. Anyways, basically.
Continue.
So he said some other stuff, but I can't remember. Honestly, I'm curious to see if I even have the messages still, which I might. I can't because it was a long, long time ago. It was years ago.
Let's not. Excuse me.
Yeah, let's not throw receipts.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, I don't like names are bad enough. I don't. Oh God! All right, good. So this guy basically does that. I'm guessing you basically.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this was either before or after. It might have actually been before he said basically I want to fuck him, but then he was 10 out of 10 would fuck to me, and I'm just excuse you, what? What?
Yeah.
And yeah, after that whole thing of him saying that, basically telling me that I wanted to have sex with him, I just cut off complete communication with him.
So after that, what was the next extreme case?
The next one was this other guy who, this was also in high school, where he asked me, and it was in the middle of class too, and I don't know if he was joking, but also why would you joke about that? But he asked me if I was down to fuck, and I'm just no.
So how many of these extreme events can you guesstimate happened before you graduated?
There was also this other time.
The reason why I say I wanted to move on to college, so we weren't just going through every single because I have a feeling there's a lot. I have a feeling there's a lot, and I feel like this is a rabbit hole.
As you'd think. There was only one other big event that I can remember specifically, where it was I got another dick pic, which I was not actually, no, 2, but there wasn't as many as I feel you'd think, but there are also way too many that I would prefer, which is 0. I prefer 0. But yeah, so I guess we can move on to college. I know one big thing definitely happened in college that made me feel very it actually scared me.
Yeah, that one. I still don't know. I I personally I don't think I'm still salty about it because they said they were me.
Oh no, I'm talking about something else, but that one really upset me too.
Yeah, so let's go with the first one and then we'll move on to that one because I have some choice things to say about that.
Yeah, so I was actually okay. So the college that I was going to at the time basically had 2 buildings, and so I was walking through, and they were connected by this was in the city, so it wasn't a specific campus, and so I was going from one building to the other building, right? And this random guy off the street basically kept complimenting me and following me and everything and asking where I was going and stuff. And so this is the first time that has ever happened to me, where like someone was following me in the street and like in catcalling me and stuff like that. So I got really, scared. They always like say, oh, like scream or, tell them off or something like that. But I was just like really scared because this is the first time this happened to me. And so I literally just kept like basically walking as fast as I could, trying to get to the other building and ignoring him. And by the time like I finally like got back to the right building and everything, like my heart was racing and I just felt like really scared because I was worried, like, what if, we were in a different place in the city and the building wasn't as close or stuff, like what would he have done? Because and then he kept asking like where I was going, if I was a student, all of this other stuff. And I just felt very like I was just very frightened. And I feel like some people will be like, oh, you're just overreacting. But the thing is, though, is that one, like, it doesn't take much to just be respectful to people and not follow them because, like, as a female, like, there are females that are really strong. I am not one of those females. Like, I am not physically strong. So when I feel like I'm, I don't feel in control of a situation or, I'm worried that something might happen, like, of course that would make me scared. And I think it's easier to say that someone else is overreacting if maybe like in that situation, that person wouldn't have to worry. But you really have to think of like someone from a different kind of like you have to think of it from a different perspective of someone that's not you and someone that may not have the strength that you do. And where something something bad could seriously happen to them, and I got lucky where I was close to the building, and he wouldn't be able to enter and stuff like that. But some people aren't so lucky. So that's like a big thing that happened in college where I was pretty scared about that.
So I have a feeling that there are a number of incidents from Del Tech alone. So I just want to move on to the other incident where I kind of come into it a little bit.
Okay.
So start at the beginning with that. And
so actually the full beginning starts in high school. So there was this person who found me on Tumblr, right? And like I checked their blog and it was like completely blank, like no name, no nothing. And so they basically were like, oh, like I'm your secret admirer. And I'm a very curious person. So instead of
curiosity killed the cat.
Okay, but satisfaction brought it back. Because that's the other part of the saying that like no one ever remembers.
I forget, what's the other half of the saying?
It's curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
Yeah, that may be fair enough.
But okay, so he said that he was, my secret admirer and stuff like that. And so I wasn't really like comfortable with it, but I was also very curious to know who it was. And so we were talking for a while, getting to know each other, and I was trying to like find ways to like convince him of like telling me who he was. And in the end, I could never convince him. And I was like, well, if you don't tell me who you are, I'm going to stop talking to you. So that's what happened. And that was when I was I think that was my senior year of high school. And like, I totally forgot about it. And then maybe like either a year or 2 years later, I forget how, I think it was 2. Yeah, it was definitely 2 years. And 2 years later, right, I get a message. And
yeah, all right, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were waiting for me to say something.
Oh no, sorry. And this is like something I think he did before. So like in the past, he like would ask me for pictures of myself and stuff like that, and I was like not comfortable with like sending stuff like that. And in like certain times it made it seem like it was sexual, and I was like, yeah, I'm not okay with that and stuff. So, but then when I got the message like 2 years later and everything, flat out asked me if I would send pictures of myself for money. Like completely flat out.
I mean, I catfish people with doing that, so I mean, I made money doing that.
Good to know.
Oi. By the way, you don't have to actually take pictures of your actual body. You can just find a lookalike online and send those. Easy $5. Easy $10.
Look, I'm okay with other people doing that. Like, I'm not going to be like, I don't shame people for sending pictures of themselves. Like, I just want to make that clear first. I don't shame people for sending pictures of themselves to other people, or even though, like, sometimes like, it could be a bad idea, depending on how much you trust someone. But I'm not going to shame you for it. I don't shame people for sending pictures for money, or like I mean, catfishing people isn't cool, but like, you do whatever, but me personally, I'm not comfortable with that. So, whether we're sending like a fake picture of myself for money or things like that, like I was not comfortable. And so then he said some stuff about my personal life that, one, made me uncomfortable, but two, also made it seem like that was someone who was closer in my life than I thought. Not someone maybe I might have like personally talked to, but someone who knew enough for me to be really like worried about it.
Right.
And so then I forget how this like all went down, but I managed to get a name out of this person of like who they were. Actually, wait, no, it wasn't who they were. It was who they talked to, I think. And okay. So basically I asked who they learned this information from and stuff. And they said you.
Which I don't remember what the information was off the top of my head because it was a while ago, and I don't want you to repeat it on blood because it might be,
Yeah.
But even when I talk about other people's lives, I never use names, and I always change enough details to where even if the story is the same, the place, names of the people involved, and some key components to keep the story funny change. And if the story is not funny, I don't say anything because why would I tell a story that's not funny?
Yeah.
So what that kind of told me was somebody like I might have I don't to this day I don't know who it could be.
Yeah, I don't know either. And I remember like at that time like how paranoid I really like felt about it
Because you have somebody in your network who you have somebody in your network who's willing to like deflect blame. There's a possibility I could have been talking about that stuff. I don't remember what it was, but there's a possibility I might have talked about it with somebody who's a confidant of mine, but somebody else overheard it.
Like that's the thing though, is that whoever like they talked to, whoever it happened, it made me feel like there was someone like I couldn't trust, and then another person who was like in a way not like watching me, but it, like also kind of that like it just made me feel
stalking
really,
you.
yeah,
Stalking
basically.
you. Let's be completely real here. Like at the end of the day, like I've struck out with many women in my life. In fact, my ex-girlfriend, who I still care about very deeply, I haven't talked to her. I haven't said anything. But I might share her blog posts and her YouTube videos because I want to see her succeed. But just out of respect for her. But what I have never understood is guys who will pursue somebody with such aggression that I'm just like, dude, this is not this is not only is this not legal, this is not okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it just like it made me feel really uncomfortable for like a long time after that because there was just someone who like one was like still in a way like hadn't let go this obsession of me in like years. Like they
Right.
already like I already could get the feeling that they were kind of, obsessed with me because like they would watch me in high school. And so
And
it's
you went
like
to school with you went to school with a population of about what, 200 kids in your graduating class?
graduating class was, I think, like 170.
Okay, so
Small class.
so you probably saw half of them. Like the way the school worked was like there were kids who were in my graduating class who I'd never seen before.
The thing is, though, is I couldn't even confirm whether he was in my grade or not.
This is true because there's multi-grade classes.
Yeah. And so they could have, most likely it was either in my grade or the grade below me.
Right.
But yeah, so I couldn't even confirm that. And so like just like knowing like the fact that someone was watching me then, and like they care enough to come back like years later and try to, get pictures from me, or new things about me that they shouldn't know. It made me very uncomfortable, and I kind of forgot about it until you brought it up again.
It's rough.
Yeah, so thankfully, like, since then, there hasn't been anything, but I'm still, like, very uncomfortable about the whole thing, and I feel like it'd be better if I at least, like, could figure out who, but, like, I couldn't figure it out then, definitely wouldn't be able to figure out now, but yeah, that just made me feel very uncomfortable. So it was, like, the two big things that happened, um, in college that definitely like made me feel really uncomfortable and scared. And like there were multiple times too of like catcalling, like going in between buildings and stuff, because like there were everyday people like on the streets and everything. So it wasn't just like
Right.
students.
Right.
They were
It's
just
like
like regular people.
right.
And
It's that kind of culture of aggressive courtship. It's you grew up in a family that not in a family, in an environment in terms of school and extracurricular activities and home and neighborhood and stuff like that, where that kind of courtship wasn't the norm. In Wilmington, in some communities it's a norm, in others it's not. It's just for some guys like that, for the girls they've known been around their entire lives, that's what works, and that's all they know how to do. Like I said, for those guys, it's not their fault that that's the only way they know how to communicate with women with a woman that they're interested in. Like
I think there also should be some like accountability held, because I feel like over time you can kind of like try to learn, what works and what doesn't, and just in general like think for yourself and kind of realize like maybe shouting at girls walking down the street's not the best idea. So I think
maybe
look, I agree both with like how, men are raised, but it also doesn't mean that accountability shouldn't be held.
right. Yeah, but at the same time, it's you can't have accountability when the person doesn't even realize what they're doing is wrong. Because if they don't understand that it's wrong, and in the first place when they make that decision, they feel like they're going to feel like they're getting punished for nothing, and they're not going to learn.
There's a lot of factors that come along with it.
I would say maybe I understand why women are afraid of guys in that regard, but here's the thing, especially in public, you can talk back. If you're like in a public place, especially on a place like Market Street, where every third car that goes by is a cop car.
What do you mean exactly by talk back? Do you mean like talk back to the person? Do you mean like get help? What do you mean by that?
These guys are persistent. Until they get a reaction or an answer from you, they're going to keep going. Like, ignoring them in complete silence. You got to remember, guys aren't. I mean, I know that I'm super oblivious. Like, I've had to like learn how to pick up on like body language and stuff so I could understand the hints people drop and give me. You know,
I think that's the real problem, though, is the fact that it's sort of like put on like the women to be like, stop following me, or I'm not comfortable with that, or things like that.
It's not put on the women, and it's not put on the men either. It's on our parents, their parents. You know, at the end of the day, we can't vilify women and we can't vilify men for this problem. It's a problem we have to approach as a community, as a culture. You know, it's I don't want to live in a world where my little sisters have to can't walk down their street and not feel safe. You know, I have to. I'm the oldest of three, and I have two of them, and I'm the only boy. My sister is 17. She has the body of a grown woman, and she has been having to deal with this since she was 13, 14 years old. And I worry about her every day in that regard because she's got balls. Like she's scrappy, but even she gets cowed when it comes to that stuff, and I don't want her, and especially the littler one, to deal with that kind of shit. You know, they deserve better. They are owed better.
And that's why I think that it's important where not only should we change how we raise kids, but we should also talk about it now to the full-grown adults and saying, like, this isn't okay.
It's like, right, I get that, but you have to. The thing about nobody wants to learn, like it's like the Confederate statues and flag and stuff. Like the people who support the flag, who wave that flag, the people who support those statues, the vast majority of them don't realize they're doing anything wrong. Because 20, 30 years ago, that flag to them represented Southern pride. It doesn't represent that anymore.
It didn't really represent it then either.
It was right, but you got to remember, for these people, that was their reality. And by telling them they're bad people for believing something that they were told when they were young, they believed their entire lives, and just telling people they're wrong or bad for shit that they didn't know was wrong or bad in the first place, and telling them they have to change isn't going to cause them to change.
And are we supposed to just sit by and not tell them that this behavior isn't okay just because they might not want to hear it?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is using a softer tone, instead of saying you are wrong, you are using this offensive flag and shouldn't use it. You should say, this flag offends me for this reason, and let me say, if I was stood in your shoes for a second, as a young black woman in America, you, instead of saying that flag, that you're wrong for flying that flag because it's racist and bigoted and wrong, you should say instead, that flag for me represents a reality where my ancestors were enslaved, and it doesn't make me feel good. And that's where it should end, because here's my reasoning behind that. It doesn't, that phrasing will do a lot more to change people's minds over a period of time. Yes, you're going to have assholes who do not give any shit whatsoever, but it's like I know many. I've talked with dozens of conservatives. I've talked with so many people on the right. You want to know what I've realized?
What?
The vast majority of them do not give any bit of a shit about people being gay. None. They don't care. They don't really. They really don't care. What they do care about is the political correctness and the freedom of speech stuff. Which, I mean, yes, saying things are problematic, But my thing is so many things on the left's agenda could be solved by, instead of trying to force shit down people's throat, we take the softer approach of like, hey, I'm not able to get I'm not, like, this person is not letting me go into their restaurant because I kiss my boyfriend outside. Most people who are reasonable would say that's bullshit. Why would they do that?
I see where you're coming from, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I also think it's a problem where other people, they won't care.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was not signed overnight. It required decades, quite frankly, centuries of work to get our country to that point.
You know what sucks though is, like, this is something I've thought about a lot.
Yeah.
Where I can die, right? And when I die, I feel like there'll still be problems with, people being of color, people being gay, people being women. And it really sucks to feel like, things aren't being said about it, or things aren't moving as fast as...
And let me say this. We live in a republic. We assign some schmuck in our community to go somewhere else to vote on our behalf. The majority, the majority of states are have the mentality of, I have what I have, I really don't give a shit, don't impede on my rights. I've always, you know me, I've always been far left leaning and all that different stuff. But when I started realizing that for people on the right, I don't agree with the vast majority of the things they say. But I feel like so many of the left's platforms, they are against just because it's on the left's platform, even if it would be beneficial to them or is completely inconsequential. And the reason why people are against it is not because of the policies themselves. It's because of the reactions they get from people on our side. I think at the end of the day, it's just there are issues with our society, whether we're talking about sexual harassment and feminism, whether we're talking about things like the Confederacy, whether we're talking about things like gay rights. The end result is we have given up on what the advocates on the right are doing for advancing their agenda. Like they're doing something that us progressives have stopped doing long ago. We stopped valuing little victories. We only seem to want big sweeping changes.
But when you think about it, it's because, okay, look,
I am completely fine knowing that I will live a full life and die. And all the things that I want as a progressive for our country may not be there when I die.
Okay, but when you think about it, it's... Okay, I'm going to flat out say it. I'm going to just flat out say it. It
Go
is
ahead.
easier for you because
I'm a white man who's straight. I know.
The thing is that it's not just, things we want done for this country. It's not just that. It's how we want to be treated.
Yep.
It's how we, you know, as people just want to be treated with the same respect and the same rights as everyone else. So it's easier when it's just like, okay, this is like, I understand there's difference between, like, for example, if we're talking about taxes or like certain people want to charge or things like that that are kind of, big ideas, but just as a small thing of just wanting to be treated with the same respect and rights and to matter just as much as everyone else does. You know? It's like
I
sometimes it
get it.
feels like that's not too is that too much to ask to just be treated just like everyone else?
It's not too much to ask. The problem is the society we currently live in is incapable of doing that. It can change. I mean, we are just 100 years ago, you and I would not be able to have a conversation, let alone like being 20 miles apart. I can never pretend or say to know I understand what you go through. But what I can say is I can look at the entire thing pragmatically. The things you have to deal with as a young, educated, gay black woman in America, you have the progressive stack stacked high as fuck. And you have a lot to deal with. And I will say that these issues, probably like the societal issues we've talked about, probably, if not most definitely, will not be solved in your lifetime. There might be laws put forth to like tell people how to act, but then those will get struck down because freedom of speech is a thing. It's the but you know what I can do, what you can do, what every person in who believes what we believe can do. We can get these little victories. We can change the culture by, instead of saying this is how you need to be, appeal to if not the person who's doing it, appeal to the person or the people around the person treating you like crap. Because if you say that doesn't make me feel good, or like I don't like that, if that person continues to keep doing that, even if they continue to keep doing that, everybody around them will see them for what they are, an asshole. And I know it probably doesn't sit well to like hear me say this stuff, but I feel like if we want meaningful change, if I want like if not, maybe not my sisters, but at least my like if my daughters or granddaughters or grandnieces and great grandnieces to feel safe, us doing these little things will, if not change the people who do it to you, then to at least change the people of those around them. We can lay the groundwork now to make the lives of women, people of color, and those who are poor and destitute much, much easier.
And it's like, you're not wrong. It's just, it's hard to hear and it's hard to accept when it's like, this is the reality we have now.
Right. It's like, I want to be a successful businessman with lots of money coming in that I can spend on like donations to like choir programs and build buildings and stuff like that. But I want that now, but everything I'm doing, my websites, my business, my podcast, my streaming, all of that stuff, all of it are little victories, little incremental steps to that point. And while it's not as big of a thing as, say, being able to talk to somebody for dating and have it not be a disaster, or racism or all these other things, the core principles are the same. You and I might not be able to change the world as much as we want to. to make it how we want it to work. I mean, I'm talking to a girl right now who I really like. I'm like, my heart's hesitant to fall in love again, but I think she's really cool, and I want to get to know her better. She's a black woman, very smart, very good work ethic. I don't want anybody to treat her any differently. Even if I don't end up with her, I still want her to not have to go through things in life that are awful. But if we collectively, as a community in the left, start by laying the groundwork now, the people who come after us will feel the fruits of our labor. Just how the people before us, the Dr. Kings, the RuPauls, the Ellen DeGenereses, they laid a groundwork for us to stand on. I mean, RuPaul laid on the barbed wire of hatred and discrimination throughout the 60s, throughout the 80s, 90s. Like people give fuck Caitlyn. I'm gonna call her Bruce because fuck her. Give Caitlyn Jenner credit for that kind of crap. But RuPaul is the person who made people okay with the concept of transgenderism. I mean, Ellen lost her sitcom after she came out as gay on the sitcom, and then she, it's people have laid groundwork for people like you and Mariah and the girl I'm talking to and all manner of other people to have opportunities and have a social perception that is different from the one they came up with.
Definitely agree with that.
It would be a disservice to the people who follow us if we didn't do the same thing.
You just got me really emotional. I have to tell you, that whole speech and everything, I'm just I agree with all of that. And you got me a little teary, to be honest.
Take solace in the fact that while you and I may never see the fruits of our labor, the people that follow us will maybe not thank us in particular, but will thank us for putting in the work where others didn't.
Definitely.
Naomi, you are going to continue to have to deal with catcallers. You're going to have to continue to deal with sexual harassment. You're going to have to continue to deal with an inherently racist system that stacks all the things that are you are because you just are who you are. But by the time you and I leave this earth, hopefully the effort we put in to change perceptions, to make people okay, and to show that actions and words do affect people, it will help our children and our grandchildren. My one friend has a nephew who has a son who I consider a nephew. He's that boy is going to grow up being respectful and kind towards women, because his parents are teaching him the right way. And you just have to make sure that the people we leave behind are kinder. Or at least, if not kinder, at least aware of what their words do to others.
I definitely hope that will be a reality.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Me and Naomi are going to take a bit of a commercial break. We will see you guys after your 40 seconds some ad. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Welcome back. I appreciate you listening to that ad. Keeping the light on because I'm a little whore. Naomi has settled the emotions. We've just been talking We've just been talking shit for 30 minutes to detox. So that's all well and good. So moving away from hard topics for a bit. What is your current profession?
Okay, so I just got a job at the tolls, it's funny because technically, like, that's a state job, I guess. And
It's more secure than a government job.
yeah, and so like I applied to a bunch of different places like before that. And like either they didn't contact me or like I went in for an interview and it didn't work out, but for some reason the state wants me. So like I guess it's good, but so it's just kind of funny that like that's the job I ended up getting. But I've only been working there like I don't know. It's been maybe a month or so, but I've already got like quite a bit stories. I work at the tools, and so you get to see a lot of people go by, a lot of different people. One thing I've noticed though, like this isn't even like really that interesting, but like from what I learned is like I am never gonna get Easy Pass ever because the amount of problems people seem to have, and it bothers me too because like Easy Pass is supposed to go at the like top of your car, like up there somewhere, and people will just be holding it and be like, "Does it work?" And I'm just like, I no, like why are you holding it? Like what are you doing? And then they ask me, "Oh, can you like check what's wrong with it or something?" And I'm like, I'm literally just like the tolls. I make
I am
no
not
progress.
equipped to deal with this issue.
Yes. Like I don't have anything in here like that's going to help with that. Like and then there'll be oh my god. So there's this and then sometimes like there'll be cars like line up, especially like on the weekend if it's because the weekends are really busy. And there'll be cars lined up and like people asking me a million questions and then people honking. For first of all, okay, if you ever go through the tolls, which you will sometime in your life, right? Do not honk if you're impatient and if there's a line because it doesn't do anything but like make everyone more irritated. Like, I'm doing my best to make it go as fast as possible, but like, oh my god, I swear, when people honk at the tolls, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do right now, because people will just be talking. Like, so sometimes like at the tolls like people on different routes like they'll talk to each other if there's like no cars or something, right? And so one like work friend told me about how like there's a woman in her lane and it was for a very long time, so I was like wondering if there's a problem or something like that, right? And so apparently there was no problem. The woman was just like upset because this party, I think that she went to, like this person had a dog, but like with a shot collar on, which like I'm against that too. But like the whole time she was basically like ranting about that and just very, very upset and emotional. And I think it literally took like over 5 minutes of her like ranting before I feel like it was closer to 10, honestly. I don't know, I'm very bad with time, but yeah, of just like being very upset about that and like talking about how there are apparently like some people who will like animal I don't know what it's like, animal activists, I guess, who will literally like steal people's dogs if they're like not treating them right, which I kind of want to be one of those because I love dogs and I want all the dogs. And I'm very tempted to steal people's dogs sometimes. Like the best part of my job is just seeing like people's dogs in the car as they drive by. Like I love it. You know, I love dogs so much. But yeah, so
Gotta love the woofers.
that was like something interesting. I was just like I
Your
was
dog
very
is amazing, by the way.
everyone loves her, but like she does not like she tolerates me. Like we get along. It's sort of like, you know,
She's like an old grandma who I don't like them. I just tolerate them. She's just like Sit your ass down. Here's your food. Go outside and play, and let me watch my soap opera.
Like, we bond by sitting on the couch together. Like, that's what we do. Like, although a lot of the times I'll like go in the living room and sit down, and she'll literally get off the couch and walk away. Like, that's our relationship. And then sometimes she'll tolerate me sitting on the couch with her, and we just like sit there together doing our own thing. Like, that's my relationship with my dog. Like, my other two dogs before her, like, I love them, they love me, but like her, she's just like, yeah, no, this is my house. And you're not really like, I let you live here, even though like we just got her maybe a couple years. Actually, no, it's been kind of a while now that I think about it. But yeah, that's basically my relationship with my dog. But my girlfriend's dog, like, he is like my child. Like, I love him so much.
He's a little badass. Don't know how to act.
Doesn't know how to act, but it's okay because I love him. Like, literally, like, I would do anything for him, like absolutely anything. Like, me and my girlfriend's friend, like, he always says that he's gonna fight her dog for some reason. I forget how this even started, but like, I'm not very strong, but I would kick his ass if he even tried to touch like my dog. Well, not technically my dog. Well, like, he's basically like my dog, because like my real dog doesn't even really like me. But yeah, I would kick his ass. I swear. Like, it's gonna happen one day. Like, I feel like it's really gonna happen one day.
Your dog, man. He's like, I just picture her as just like some old German grandma smoking a Newport, like, cocksucker.
Oh my
Why are you in my way? Bring me my dish. I can't wait to die and come back as a young schnauzer.
Oh my god.
Get out of my way, cocksucker. I'm required to go on a walk. I must defecate.
Literally, like, the only time when like she comes to me is literally just when she wants to go outside. Like, she will bark nonstop at me if she wants to go outside. But then when I try to take her outside, that's not on her time, she will resist the fuck out of it. Like, I will have to kind of like try to drag her down, and then eventually I just give up because like she's not having it. So I'm just like, whatever. Like, I can't. But yeah, I love my girlfriend's dog like so much. I miss him because I haven't got to see him in a while. But like, he is the most loving dog ever. Like, loves everyone like he comes across and stuff. Although he's really jumpy, and because he's young, you know, like I think he's like 1 year old or something. But he's like really strong too. So. But I love him. He's the best. And I want him. Like, I'm literally just gonna like have him in my house all the time. Just like steal him. I'm gonna steal all the dogs. That's what I'm gonna do. Don't arrest me, please. Like, just go steal all the dogs.
So dogs are made just a conversation. Seems legit. So, at the tolls.
Oh, yeah. So, one thing is that, this is like another thing that comes with the kind of like catcalling kind of thing, because a lot of guys will be like going through there and like, you know, saying things like compliments, but kind of make me like, I don't know. Like, they'll call me like gorgeous or beautiful, blah blah blah, but I'm not like, I'm working, right? So I'm working and I'm trying to do my job, and it's not the time. Like, if it's ever a time to flirt with someone, it's not the time. I'm not receptive to it. Like, I'm dating someone, like, just, it's not the time. And so, and it's really also weird when they're like, some of the guys are like old enough to be my dad, and I'm just like, please do not. Like, please just keep going. Like, I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Like, please, no. So, but there are like some funny stories that come with it. So, like, you know, when people go through like without paying, like, I have to violate them, right? And so I have to like write stuff down for this. And so one time I was like writing something down because someone just like ran the toll, and this guy was so very impatient. He was like, "What are you doing back there?" And I just look at him because I'm just like $4, please, because that's like. But so he was just like, "Well, what are you doing back there?" And so I still like I didn't say anything because he was being rude about it, and I just like asked for the money and stuff like that. And there was a woman next to him in the passenger seat, and then she was like, "Give the girl the money." And wasn't having his crap either, which I absolutely loved. And then so he held out the money, and I tried to take it from him, and he wouldn't let it go. Like, he was just being like an overall jerk. So I just glared at him because I was so irritated. Like, I was, and like, you know what glare it was, like, Evan, like, you know, because
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of it quite a bit.
not just that. Remember, like that one guy, you know, the guy I don't like that tried to like walk. Oh wait, actually no, I think there were two guys that I glared like that at. But the one guy that was like trying to like walk over to our table one time, and I like literally wasn't having it, and you're basically like, back away because she looks like she's gonna kill you. Remember that?
What does he look like?
You know, like it was at school. Like, I don't want to give like details and stuff, but
Type it in chat. Type it in chat.
Okay.
That's not being recorded. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I'd hope not.
Yeah. Waiting for it. You're going to need to be specific. Because it says that irritating guy at school that stalks girls. And I'm like, which one? There's a lot!
Oh my god, I'm trying to remember his name, but I don't even remember.
Doesn't matter. He's irrelevant. But continue.
Okay, let me try again.
Hey, can you hear me? Oh.
Yeah.
Now I know, and I know the name of the person too.
Together, and like he walked over, and I gave like my that glare. Like,
ooh.
That's the one I gave him. Like, I was so done.
He's on the spectrum, though. He's on the spectrum, though. He doesn't understand. So take the issues normal people have with dating that we talked about in the first half of the podcast, and then compound that.
Yeah. So okay, but so like the guy at Soul, like I gave him that glare, right? And so he finally let go of the money, and then he would like try to play it off like, oh, like I was just joking, I was just messing with you, blah blah blah. And then the woman was literally like, apologize to her right now. And like, I didn't say anything, but in my head, I was like, thank you. Like, I appreciate you. Like, she was done with his crap too. And like, shout out to that woman because I appreciate her. Like, women need to stick up for women. And yeah, he didn't end up apologizing though, and he just drove off. But I was so irritated. Like, and the thing is though, is like some people will take a really long time getting their money, right? And so we have to be patient and stuff like that. But then
because what else can you do?
Yeah, right? I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if I need time to like get stuff together, whatever, I'll just be like, can you give me a second, please? Like, thank you, and like do that. But people are very impatient, and some people are really nice about like, oh sure, go ahead, don't worry about it. And then some people are so very irritated with me and give me looks and stuff like that, acting like I'm wasting their time, and I'm just like, it's literally gonna be a second. Like, just please be patient and respectful and just give everyone time. because I don't know, like that really gets to me, because I have to, you know, wait and be patient because that's my job and stuff. But also like the fact that some people can't even give me like a second to like get my stuff together that I need to get together and things like that. Like that just gets to me. But oh, there's this other story I have. So it's another like, you know, guy tries to get me. I'm so tired of these stories. But so
Want to
there was
move
this.
on?
No, I mean, like, I'm okay with it. I'm just like tired of the fact that it keeps happening more so
Well,
than I'm tired of like telling these stories. But like, yeah.
well, welcome to being a woman in America.
Yeah. So there's this one guy. Well, he is like, they're a group of guys in like some kind of van or something. I don't know. But he was basically like, "Oh, you married?" And I'm like, "No, but I have a girlfriend." And he was like, "Oh, like I'm into threesomes." And I was like, "I'm not." And what was funny though is that some other guy was just like, I forget exactly like how, but it's basically saying like, "I'm into threesomes, but this is my man, and you can't have him." And I was like cracking up inside, and it was even funnier because these were all like old men too. So I would like, it was out of nowhere, and all the guys in the car started cracking up, and I'm just like, I'm okay with that. Like I don't want him, but I just thought that was funny because like that was really like out of nowhere, and then they kind of like drove off after money and stuff. But I thought that was funny. But there's just like a lot of stories that happen, and then a lot of rude people too, which I'm really glad that I'm not in retail, because I've heard horror stories about like working in retail.
I have
And
a couple if you'd like to hear some.
yes, like, because people can be just very, like, I don't know why, but as soon as, like, you know, you're working or whatever, people care less about you. Like, they just don't care. And, like, I've had so much, like, many times people snatch money out of my hands or give me rude looks, or, like, I'm wasting their time, or getting mad at me because they already, like, went through the toll multiple times. Like, one, I'm just a collector. I don't get that money. If I got all the money that I like made at the tolls,
I'm
like,
rich, bitch!
yeah, I'd be like getting a lot of money, you know? So I wouldn't actually mind working as much if I got all the money. But it's like, I don't, you know, and I'd have to pay for the tolls too, going through and stuff like that. So, like, the fact that they get upset, you know, because they have to go through tolls or they got lost and stuff like that. Like, this one lady got really mad because she was lost, went through the toll twice, like got turned around and stuff, and then asked me basically how to get, like, she asked me if I could tell her how to get where she needed to go, which, first of all, anyone who knows me knows that I'm very bad with directions and where things are, or just like knowing how to get back to my own house. I'm very bad with
Yeah.
that. So, like, I could be going to a place and go there like a million times, and then you ask me, "Oh, how do you get home from here?" I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna need to GPS it." And so I'm just like really bad with directions. And she was like, "Oh, you don't know how to like get here?" And just like yelling at me. And it's like, lady, this isn't my job. Like, my job isn't to, I didn't say this, but it's like, my job isn't to tell you where you need to go. It's to take your money and then wave you off with a smile. Like, that's my job, you know? And so she was getting like really angry and just taking it out of me, snatched the money when I finally like gave her change back and stuff like that. And I actually had to call up to like my superiors and stuff to figure out like the directions for wherever she needed to go. Which, again, not our job. You probably have a smartphone, which most likely has GPS, which it should have GPS.
Honestly, if I were you in that point, I was like, that's not my job. You have a smartphone. I got other people. Move on.
Thank God there wasn't anyone behind her at that time, though, or else it'd be even a bigger problem. Like, it would have been an even bigger problem, which it already was. Like, I was not in the mood for it. But yeah, it's very difficult because after the fact, like, I get really like irritated and stuff, but I'm not really capable of like at that time, especially like with the environment of like kind of being a little like rude to people and kind of like shooing them off and stuff. Because also I feel like with the environment you can't, like, some people can and get away with it and stuff, but I'm also like new, so I don't want to risk it.
If I honestly, like, I have, like, depending on what the customer looks like, I act a different way. When I say looks a different way, I mean whether or not they have gray hair.
What?
I don't care. There is a distinct difference. Can you hear me?
No, I'm just like confused by what you said.
There is a distinct difference between somebody who is like early 30s and lower, someone who's 40 and up.
That is true.
By the way, did you see the picture I put in the Discord real quick?
Oh my god. I don't even watch that though.
I'm in love. Ugh.
Oh my god.
All right. No need to talk about any more about that.
Like, no need to explain any of that.
Nothing, and nobody will ever find that. Oh man.
That reminds me like the John Mulaney thing. Like, now we don't have time to unpack that, so. But yeah, I feel like also it's interesting when like some people will call me ma'am, which is like nice feeling because it's like I feel like I'm not like mature old enough to be called ma'am. Like I feel like you have to be like in your 30s or up to be called ma'am. But it's like nice.
If you look old, I'm gonna call you ma'am. If you look young, I'm gonna call you miss.
I can see that. But it's just like funny when people like, you know, call me ma'am and stuff. And it's like nice. I don't get bothered by it. You know, I don't think it's like, oh, you know, only old people should be called ma'am or anything, you know. But and it's like
I just want what does ma'am has always been a term for respect. You know, it's what does it have to do? I've never understood how why it's considered a thing with age now.
I don't know. I think it's just like the assumption. Like maybe if like that's what we kind of like see, you know, older women be called ma'am or things like that. Like I don't know. But I think it's kind of like just that kind of assumption, like, oh, you know, ma'am is, you know, something for like older women or something. I don't know what it is. But, you know, it's like interesting how like some people call me ma'am and like some people can be older and be like very nice and respectful and stuff like that. And then some people can be younger and like, you know, very rude or like it could be the other way around. So for it like surprisingly doesn't I don't really like see something where like all like older people at the tolls are very like disrespectful or rude because I'm young or stuff like that. You know, it all I feel like it depends, you know. But it like that's one thing I do like kind of love about the tolls is just like all the different people that drive through. Even if I don't get to like talk to them, it's just interesting.
You see some weird shit.
You do. And I also love the dogs. Like just bringing back to the dogs. Like I love seeing how many dogs go through. Like I love dogs. Like and I'll just like stare at the dogs like as they like drive by and they're so adorable. Like I'm sorry. I just had to bring it back to that because I absolutely love dogs. They're the most adorable things ever. I haven't seen any cats yet, or else I like would gush about that too. But I feel like people don't seem to like bring their cats places like they bring their dogs places.
Yeah, because you can grab a dog by like its collar, or you can get a dog to, if you don't want a dog to jump out and run, you can say stop, like insert name stop, and they'll stop. Cats, no,
do whatever the hell they want.
They do whatever they want.
That's what they do. But like I think, and then it's I don't know. Like I do like think it's really interesting to like see new people, even though I'm not really like. It's weird because I'm a talkative person, but I'm also not with strangers. So like I know some people that like work with me, like I know like they're really talkative, so they'll be talking to the customers and like getting them like just not too long, but like if there's not any cars behind them or like joking around with them and stuff, like that's not really me. But it's just cool to see all like the different people like rolling through and stuff like that. So like that's one thing I definitely do like I like about my job. Also the fact that literally I just have to stand there and do everything. Like I can sit too, but like I don't have to walk around like the store like do anything. I can like I'm just there in that one place doing that. So that's nice. Like I think it's a really good kind of like first job. So if you have to apply someplace, I'd suggest applying to tolls. Now I don't know like how far it is from everyone, but you know, just a
there's
suggestion.
I mean, there's only like toll booths on some bridges and on the borders of the states.
Oh, I wonder how do they get there? Like, if it's in the middle of a bridge too.
Well, I
Like,
mean, the toll's purpose is tax revenue to like take care of roads and shit. You know,
people ask me that too. Like, people ask me what the money is being used for, and I'm just like, honestly, I have no clue. Like, I just take them like I have no idea like what this is all used for specifically. So like, yeah, that's one thing I get asked too. And then I also get asked like, oh, how long until the next toll? Which just like it's
I
like
don't know.
going to
You should feel
McDonald's.
comfortable. Learn to be comfortable in just saying, I don't know.
Oh no, I'm totally comfortable with that, and I say that a lot. But people get people get really irritated sometimes. Like I
Not
can't
my
tell you
you
how
know what I
many
say in
times.
response to that? Not my fucking problem.
I can't say that, but I'll keep that in mind. But like, yeah, I can't tell you how many times people have asked me like, "Oh, like how far till the next toll?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, I'm sorry, I don't know. They're like, "You don't know?" And it's like, "Excuse you." Like,
Did I stutter?
like you don't go to McDonald's and then ask like how many more McDonald's till this place. Like you don't do that because we're not all connected. We're all separate tolls. Like even tolls that are in the same state are not connected in a way where like they know like where each other are. Like we're not connected. So like that's one thing I get asked a lot too. And I'm just like, I have no clue, or like how to get to this place, or I don't know. Like I just don't know. And then some people are really understanding about that, like, oh, like that's okay, thanks anyways. But a lot of people are like very upset with me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, like that's not like again not in my job description. Like nowhere in there did it say I need to know like where every toll is, like in wherever you're at and stuff. So
Yeah.
again, like I don't know, sometimes it feels like there's only kind of disrespectful people going through tolls. Like some days it really does feel like that. Like it feels like there's only rude people going through the tolls. But then sometimes like they're really nice people. And then one lady offered me candy. I was like, no, of course, but I thought that was very nice. Like she's like, oh, do you want some candy? And I'm just like, no thanks, I'm fine. We're not really allowed to take that anyways. But yeah, so it's nice. Like I feel like it definitely kind of makes my day a little better when there like are nice people going to tolls. They're just like respectful or positive people, because like no one kind of wants to see angry people all day and stuff like that. So it's nice when people are really like positive or like kind of considerate and stuff like that going through the tolls and stuff. So
yeah, that makes sense. So, what is the weirdest thing that ever happened to you at the tolls?
okay, that's her weirdest.
What is the most? What has caught you the most? Like what has someone done or said or given you that has like like you just did not expect? Like
Okay.
so, like what is like the most thing that caught you off guard the most?
Okay. One thing that happened so at this time I was kind of used to people like coming through like the toll, like possibly trying to flirt with me or being rude or stuff like that, right? So I kind of expected that from people going through my lane. But what I didn't expect was like when you're at the toll, like you can talk to people like next to you in the toll booth next to you. And so what I didn't expect was when someone went through my friend's lane, the passenger like kept trying to talk to me. Like I totally was caught off guard, and I was very like uncomfortable because like there was like no one was in my lane, so I couldn't like like I tried to like just look forward and pretend like I was doing something, but like there was nothing to really distract me from that. So I was just like really hoping they just go through like my friend's lane. Like I was not expecting that at all, because like like oh, I expected all the people like going through my tolls, but like that passenger is very insistent on getting my attention and trying to talk to me, and I was just like can they go on please, like
Yeah.
that really caught me off guard. Yeah, that was one thing. So the guy who brought up a threesome thing though, that did definitely catch me off guard too, because when people have like tried to flirt with me, they haven't been like that blatant about it. Oh, but another funny thing that happened was like, so one time this girl and guy like went through toll, and so when I was giving her like change back, like I saw the guy like in the passenger seat with like a marker or whatever, a Sharpie or something. And then the driver, she was like, she's not gonna. And I was kind of confused. And then I realized that basically I think like he was gonna try to ask me for my number, and she just immediately shot him down, was like, it's not gonna happen. Like, she's not gonna say yes. And like he kind of just like put it back. And I thought that was like really funny, because I didn't even like notice at first and stuff, because like I don't think he had it like before, although like, you know, I try to make it as quick as possible going through and stuff. But I just thought that was funny how she kind of like flat out shot him, like it's not happening, like it's not gonna happen. Another oh my god, like I have so many like different stories about people, like I don't know why people think like the tolls is the right place to like flirt with someone. Like I don't get that, especially because you're never really gonna see them again. Like it's never happening unless you like go through a lot. But like I don't know anyone who like makes an effort to go through tolls a lot.
Yes, because you can have.
Hello?
As you were saying.
Okay, I totally missed all of that. You just cut out.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. So another thing that happened is this guy was like trying to like flirt with me and stuff, and I didn't like say anything, because like that's what I normally just kind of ignore it, and like hopefully like they'll go away eventually since I give them the money back. And there was a lady sitting next to him, right? And he was like, oh, like, don't worry, this is not my wife, and you're much prettier than her anyways. And I was like, I wanted to fight him, because one, that's so disrespectful. Like, to ever be like, oh, like, you know, you're much prettier than her. It's like, that's not a compliment. That's just rude to both parties. And like, also the fact the woman was pretty. And I wanted to fight for her. Like, I wanted to fight him so bad, because like that was so like disrespectful and stuff. Like, I don't know, that really got to me. The lady didn't say anything, but like that really irked me when he was like, oh yeah, like don't worry, this is my wife and you're much prettier than her. And I was very upset about that. Like, I don't know why people try to like flirt at the tolls. Like, I've heard a lot of different stories too from like other people who work there, and like people going through their lane and trying to flirt with them. And it's like, it's not an uncommon thing. Like, I don't know why people do it. You know, like I don't know why people, like why anyone tries to flirt with someone while they're working, because I feel like it also puts them in a position where they're not like, you know, allowed to, I mean, they can say that they're not interested, but also then that creates a fuss if like the person who like is either buying something or, you know, going through tolls or whatever, if they react badly. So it's easier for like people who are working just to not respond. But I think that puts them in a very uncomfortable position, and I don't think that's a position anyone should be put in, you know, whether like female or male or, you know, anything like that. So like, just, you know, a shout out, like, please do not flirt with people when they're working. Like, just don't do it. Like, please just don't. I don't know, like that always like makes me kind of like uncomfortable when someone tries to do that, and I'm just like trying to work, get my job done, you know. And like, it's like, again, like we talked way back before, like it's the difference between being nice and like trying to kind of come on to someone, you know.
Right. And I mean, I will say that I don't have like I'm not the kind of person who has a desire to go talk to every single hot woman I see and try and get her number. Like, I can at least say confidently about myself that I'm not someone who hollers at chicks frequently, if at all. You know? And I think part of that is, and I say this, and this is a note. If you are a teenager listening to this, I'm about to give you some. If you're a teenage boy or even a teenage girl, I'm about to give you guys some advice. Before you decide to go and talk to somebody that you're interested in, whether you're gay or straight, make sure you have post-nut clarity first.
Oh my god, you did not just say that.
Literally, I'm saying this like I'm literally saying this because there is a big like the current girl I'm talking to. Whenever I talk with her, I am talking to her like a normal person. I don't ever text anybody I'm interested in or I'm talking with or I'm in a relationship with, like when I'm horny, because it's just you're just not yourself. And this counts for both men and women. There's a joke among guys about this concept that is that like I know I like it's and honestly for women too, it's like you like everybody, like before you have to make a major decision in your life where you have to go talk to somebody you're really interested in, like get it, like get that relieve yourself and get that off the table so you can think with a clear head, because it is not worth it. I would wager, Naomi, that you have every man that has ever hit on you did so not necessarily because he overtly liked you. And I'm talking about guys like on the street catcalling you, and guys who who come up out of nowhere. I'm not talking about the guys who befriend you and then who are interested with and then like try it that way. I'm talking about guys who just from the jump are making it clear what they're trying to do. They're not doing it because they like you. They're doing it because they're horny. And
stop being horny then.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. I have nothing to say to that.
You're away from the mic. What were you saying?
I said I have nothing to say to that.
One more time, can you actually like put the computer on your lap and like talk into it?
It is. I don't know why you can't hear me.
That's weird. Speak again.
Hello?
Oh yeah, it's it's my fault. The volume on my headphones were down. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, get like everybody should have like a normal phone, normal device, everything, and everybody should have an older phone that's sitting by their bedside, always plugged in, that's connected to the internet and not logged into anything. And that phone is for one thing and one thing only.
Oh my god. You know what? It was funny. I was very confused about that. Like, I was like, I don't know why you just said that, but okay. And then you said, like, that thing is for the phone is for one thing only. And then I was like, of course. Of course.
Has anything I said been wrong?
I mean, I'm gonna point this out right here. Well, I mean, I can't even say I disagree with that. I'm just very uncomfortable with the subject. So I can't say whether it's right or wrong, but I'm just gonna let that go.
Good call.
I'm just gonna drop that. It's funny though, because like sometimes I can like talk about things and like, you know, make inappropriate jokes or what, you know, like regular people do, right? And then sometimes I'm just like, I don't like, it makes me uncomfortable to even like think about, because it's sort of like the like sexual jokes or whatever, it's like more vague and not directed at anyone in particular, you know? So,
right,
like,
but I think you as a person have an aversion to that kind of general, whether it involves you or not.
That's true, and especially when it involves me.
Right, but that's anybody. I've got like walked by the bars like that I live near plenty of times and heard 30-some, 40-some year old women comment on my ass, and I'm just like moving on. I'm just like, sorry, Grandma, I'm gonna just go home now and
Oh
die.
my god,
Yeah.
that's
So it's
not good.
so it's like I get like, but let's be also very clear. There is a big difference between unasked. There is a big difference between unasked sexual comments between while in theory on like sexual comments or people looking at your body and stuff like that are unwelcome. I feel like for some there's a difference if the person doing it is pretty.
I can't say anything like against that too, because I feel like it's a lot easier for certain things like coming out from someone that you not even necessarily like pretty because they might be like people may think of the same person differently because it depends on who you're into, like what your type is.
Right,
But
right,
just
right.
generally, like there's a difference between like if it's unwarranted from someone like you're not interested in, and then if you're interested, it's like good thing. So like I definitely agree with that, but I think there's also like a sort of level of where even if it's someone you're interested in it's still not like entirely like respectful. Like for example, if we're talking about whether like it's sexual or not, like even if it's someone you're interested in, I feel like if it's the comments are like overtly sexual, it's still kind of like that's a bit much. But if it's
Yeah.
like, someone that you're into saying like, "Oh, you're gorgeous" or "you're beautiful," and someone you're not into saying "you're gorgeous" or "you're beautiful," it's definitely like taken better if it's someone you're interested
Right.
in.
And here's the thing: I've said those things like a statement of fact. I've said those things because they are the reality of the situation, not there's zero underlying meaning behind them other than what those words mean. And yet it's still an issue because I'm somebody who's just yeah. Meanwhile, those words if I give those to somebody else, they might they might appreciate that more. It's I get that, but at the same time, I want there to be in a world where like after the events of last weekend, our president decided to say he said a lot of things, but there was one thing that he was the first politician who ever said this, and I'm glad he did. Why is it that a movie can have murder, explosions, and the death of thousands, and be PG-13, but you show one nipple and it's rated R? Why is that? I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but like, I would rather I don't see I see there's a lot wrong with murder. I don't see anything wrong with a boob.
I think I definitely agree with that. I think that it's a problem where I don't know, I feel like we've become desensitized to violence. And so we think like, okay, it can be, PG-13. But there's so much like stigmatism against like any type of like sex or sexual conduct and stuff like that it's like immediately rated R. And I feel like it's because of um that kind of I just used the word. Sorry, I'm kind of blanking here. But how we got so used to violence and everything, that is the reason why we're not like as against showing it as we are with sex. And I think that there should be just as much of like kind of a stigma of like over showing that, to people who are like aren't ready to see all of that or shouldn't see all of that or too young for that.
I think you got to remember thinking that things like boobs, butts, dicks, and vaginas matter once we hit puberty. I don't know about you, but when I was 7 years old, like I saw. I mean, what went was my blood father would drag me to lacrosse games he would run, and I saw skimpy women in short shorts and running, boobs everywhere, and I could not care less. I was bored, you know. But if you took me when I was 13, I'd be like, because all the brain had all my blood will have left my brain, and I'd just be a vegetable. You know, it's just I think, and we growing up as adolescents are looking for more of that, and like it's. I always had access to porn growing up, you know, to the point where, looking back, it was probably unhealthy. But the result of that was I didn't do weird shit like send girls dick pics or ask women out of the blue for blowjobs or like ask women if they were down to fuck it, like that a bunch of other guys my age were doing. You know,
okay. If we're gonna talk about this, which hoped we wouldn't, but I mean, I wasn't thinking we were gonna go here.
My point is, the last thing. What I'm trying to say is, I think there needs to just be a decriminalization in our society of sexual energy, which I think is the cause of just a lot of just the harassment that both men and women have to deal with. You know,
the thing is, though, is it all depends, because it depends on like what you're seeing when you watch certain things, because that can just increase the like how women are treated if it's negative. If you're just showing in that
women
videos
shouldn't have to. Right, because I mean, when it comes to intimate moments like that, you're not acting like a porn star with that person. It's completely different. It's not about the physical act. It's about the emotional connection. It's as important, if not more so, than the physical feelings you feel.
I'm not just talking about that, but if you just decide to go out and have sex with someone and all you're used to seeing is women being treated as objects or things like that, then that's most likely how you're going to treat a woman. So if, we're okay with that.
Porn, I think, puts the onus on like younger people. It's like it makes young women feel like they have to do more than they have to, and it makes young men feel like they need to do more than they have to. You know, it's like it's like your first time should be awful for both parties. like it was for all of us.
So I just think that I understand there needs to be more awareness of like sexuality and stuff like that, but it also needs to be more realistic too. And less sort of like, what you think like the fantasy of what it should be. It should be more like realism and equality between both parties, whether same sex or not same sex and stuff like that.
But I will say we are at a point, at least from a heterosexual perspective. We like from a heterosexual perspective, the like women who are straight are kind of are certainly better off now in terms of just like than they were in the past in terms of their partner's like knowledge of female anatomy.
I don't entirely agree with that.
It's that the reason I say that is because just because I said it's better now than it used to be doesn't mean it's great.
That's true.
The clitoris is no longer a myth.
We're gonna say that word, aren't we?
What would you rather me call it? The clitoris? Clitoris?
I was expecting. Okay.
Let's just give it a name we can all agree on. Ladycock.
I just thought we were going vague with this whole topic. I wasn't. expecting you're going into any specific, bits or pieces of people, or I was just
Right.
going vague.
Buddy, all right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, complete 180. I need your help.
What?
Please help me get into Wizards Unite.
Okay, well, okay. You meant when you said 180, you meant 180. First of
Yeah.
all, I literally don't even play that because my phone won't let me.
Oh, that sucks. I will say my phone didn't let me for like the first 2 weeks, and then like it became available on my phone. I think what they're doing is they're basically, I think what they're doing is they're basically what's the word? They're basically rolling it out for certain phones, and then they're
But like,
optimizing it for each.
it's not even that. It's the fact that I can download it, right? I can download it, and then it'll be downloaded on my phone, and then I click it, and it like immediately takes me out of it. Like I can't,
It
nothing
sucks.
loads. And I've done that, like, and over time I've tried to download it again, but it still won't work for me. And I don't know if it's because, like, maybe I don't have enough space, but then the fact that it downloads in the first place should show that I do have enough space. So I don't know what it is per se, but I'm also gonna, like, try to get a new phone soon in the future after, like, because I literally have like over 10 gigabytes of pictures on my camera because I've had my phone for years.
Is
Like
yours
I've
an
had
Android or Apple?
Apple all the way, like fuck Android.
Have
No
you
offense to everyone with Android, but
No, no. I will defend. Not anything non-Apple over Apple till my dying breath. Fuck
I
Apple.
had an Android before, and I hated like. I feel like Apple's a lot more user friendly because it's
Well,
easy. Or I don't know if
that I will concede, but over the past 3-4 years, Android has really stepped up their game in that department by
user
like a
friendly.
lot. Oh my god, yeah. You wanna know what they have in their settings that Apple doesn't?
What?
A search bar.
Does Apple not have that? Like, does it really not have that?
Nah,
Now I'm like
last
going
Apple.
into my settings. I'm like, nope. Settings has a search bar.
Oh, that must be new with the new iOS update because I know that the last one I looked at didn't have it.
I don't have the new update. Mine's like an older. It's an older update. I haven't updated it in a long time.
But regardless, it's just like my biggest problem with Apple is how restrictive it is. It's not. It's user friendly, but the problem is they hold all your data hostage. You can't move your purchases or your data or anything anywhere else. It has to be backed up to Apple, and they make it unbelievably annoying to make anything else compatible with it. You're stuck in the Apple ecosystem, and if you ever decide, and what basically happens is the longer you've been in it, the harder it is to leave. There are much more cost-effective phones. There's phones with better resolution, better features, better pricing, and better batteries, better screens, better everything. But you can't. But if you spent hundreds of dollars in on the App Store and on iTunes and stuff, like I remember when I left Apple, I found an obscure exe off the internet that allowed me to convert all of my Apple my Apple MP4 file, MPEG files, and turn them into MP4s, and I still have that library sitting in my Google Drive today. It's just
entirely like disagree with you on that because like I've
it's not,
been
and they're
Apple like,
very,
a long
very,
time.
very expensive. It's. I mean,
It's very true.
it's. Apple Care, it's almost worth it to just do Apple Care because you spending $30 a month to get a new phone in case shit breaks. With the way Apple products are, of course you might as well just do it because they're not durable at all.
I feel like it depends. Okay, so one, I guess that is true. That is true with like the durability, and in a way, like you have to spend certain things to make it, not break so easily. Like for example, I got what's it called? I think it's tempered glass screen protector, and my phone literally like only cracks on there, and it's fine. Although like Ryan doesn't have that, and now her phone is completely shattered, and so like I get that. I definitely get that. I think the biggest problem I had though was with other phones. And okay, so the Android I did have was I think like an old version of it, so I'm not sure what it's like now. But for all like the different phones like I've seen and stuff like that, to me, Apple was the most user friendly, and that's what matters the most to me is the ability to use it, the ability to
I
do
feel
what I
like
need
that.
to do.
I feel like Apple died the day Steve Jobs passed. It's just they haven't done anything remotely interesting or revolutionary that hasn't already been done since that man died.
I can't say anything against that either. Like they haven't really like changed
I mean,
much.
they've like wireless charging has been a thing since Samsung Galaxy S6.
Okay, so
Which came
the
out
thing
in like
about
2013 or whatever.
wireless charging though,
It's slow as
isn't it?
fuck.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but isn't it like a kind of like a mat that you have to put your phone on and you can't like move it?
It's proximity. It's not being it's the electricity passes through the air and charges the device. That's how it works. Granted, it works it works better when it's within close proximity. So they probably make it have to be touching the mat to do it, so you get the best results, and that's probably why they have that requirement.
I think that what's the point of like a wireless charger if like you basically, I mean, unless because like I know because like I remember I talked about like I think she had like a wireless charger and basically said that she couldn't do anything because her phone was charging on that. But
Right.
like
The point of the wireless is when you're going to bed. Like that, it basically way charge your phone overnight without killing the battery.
then like why don't you just use a regular charger? Like I don't understand that. Like I don't get that. I don't know. Like I just don't get that at all. Like
It is what it is. It's just it's the way technology works. It's you know how like if you know how like when you charge your phone overnight it kills the battery.
oh, I did not know that at all.
Oh yeah, when you charge your but what you should do is you should charge your phone about like during the like hour before you go to bed. Take it off, leave it on, leave it overnight, and then the moment you wake up in the morning, plug it back in before you get ready, and have it fully charged by the time you're ready to walk out the door.
I literally never. Is that why my battery shit? Because I've
Yep.
been charging it through the night like for years.
Yep. You're killing the lithium in it.
Oh, that's good. We all learned something today, at least.
So your phone's probably shot, so you might as well just keep doing it. You're not like you like it's only downhill from here. You can probably get like a couple more months out of it by doing that, but if you have a possibility of getting a new phone within the next like year,
Okay.
what I would highly suggest is when you plug it in, like before you go to bed, plug it in for an hour. Make sure get it to as close to 100 as possible. Take it off, set it down, and then when you wake up in the morning, plug it back in. And then when you're ready to walk out the door, you can unplug it and it'll be ready to go. And that'll make your battery last. Not only your phone live longer, it'll make your battery last longer throughout the day.
So I just checked this. Guess what my maximum capacity is for my battery health? It's
How
like
much?
any guess. Just make a random guess.
5 hours.
Like a percentage wise.
The maximum capacity for it?
Yeah, like like percentage wise. Guess how much it is.
100.
100 would be like just new phone. Like.
Oh wait, when you say capacity, how much charge it can hold?
Basically, yeah.
Like 30.
No, well, it's 64%, which is still like really bad.
That, I mean, it's better than.
Like,
I mean,
30,
yeah.
which is what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really need to get a new phone. Like, and I've been planning to for a while. Well, I didn't have money before, so like now that I finally have a job, like I'm planning to get a new phone. But I just gotta like figure out how to get all of my like because like the pictures is really just like what I want. And I'm
You could,
thinking like,
you could. Well, you've got a job now, right?
yeah,
Pay for the iCloud buff.
I don't want that. I want to physically have a thing with the pictures on it.
You want me to? I tell you. Would you want me to help you?
Yes, most likely. Yeah,
Okay.
because like
So
I don't know like how to. Because I was thinking like one of those things like I forget what they're called, but basically like that store like all your information either from like a computer or something like that. But I don't know how to do that for a phone.
all right. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help you out with it. Next time I'm over. I'll bring like next time I'm over. Remind me. Text me beforehand. I'll bring my computer. We'll work it out.
Okay, sounds good. Cause like that's like the big thing that's like really stopping me from like getting a new phone. Also, like it'll be nice to have space on my phone again
I
because they
understand. Well, here's the thing: if you back everything up to the cloud, you can get it'll be safe when you get a new phone.
Yeah, but like I want to kind of start fresh is like why I want to kind of get it off my phone. So like when I get a new phone, it won't be like I can get those pictures back. Like I'll just have like a little thing with them on 'em. I don't know.
How about a
But
Google Drive? If you spend, you can get I think like 200 gigabytes of data for I think like $3 a month.
the thing like okay, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but like I want a physical thing. Like I don't want it to be in any cloud or something that I can't like
Would you
physically
be
have.
Would you be okay with it going onto a flash drive?
Yeah, like something like that.
Okay, so can I give you a recommendation? Do both,
Why?
because having it physical, while nice it may be, at some point there might you never know what something might happen to that flash drive.
That's
I'm
true.
not saying anything will. I'm just saying
But
there's
there's a
always that
chance that it
possibility.
could. That's true.
Having multiple backups is very, very important. So having them physical and having it on the Google Drive, which is probably cheaper than doing it through iCloud, would be smart.
iCloud, I think, is like, I think I looked at this a while back. I think it's like $1 for like 50 gigabytes of space.
Yeah, how much can you get for $3?
I don't know.
How many gigabytes? How many gigabytes of pictures do you have?
Like, I think it was 13. I think that's how many it
Okay,
was.
just pay for do okay.
The Apple one.
All right, so here's what you
Oh
should do.
no, it's 15.5.
I make you this promise. I will help you take care of that. I will help you take care of making them physical. In the meantime, there is zero reason why you shouldn't just drop that dollar and back them all up to the cloud. I give you my word that I will help you put them on a physical media so you have them. Just make my job a little easier by starting the process of having another backup separate from this one, just in case.
Okay, sounds good.
I mean, if you lost your phone tomorrow, fuck, So
Yeah, that would really suck.
yeah, big time, big time. So on that note, yeah. So, I just saw that. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the High Soapbox, episode 6. Naomi Harris, thank you so much for joining me.
A good time.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.